on now to when we've actually had the babies.
Yeah.
Is it normal for newborns to have spotting in their nappies, so spotting of blood?
Yeah,
in
for
their
baby
nappies?
girls. For baby girls, it tends to be they come out of our bodies full of our hormones, and sometimes the estrogen that's produced is in excess, and so sometimes they'll have a bit of spotting for the first day or two, and so that's perfectly normal.
And is it more of a brown blood, or is it quite a red blood?
It can be a mixture. It can be a mixture. Brown blood tends to be old blood, so if they're not producing any more blood, then you'll just get the brown, but sometimes it could be a combination of both. So I would say it's usually quite light and should pass within a few days. If not, then you might like to speak to your midwife or health visitor.
But it's not something, because I know lots of people are really alarmed.
No, it's quite normal.
By seeing blood in their baby's arm. It's not nice.
If you weren't expecting it, I think most women would panic. So it's generally nothing to panic about.
Okay, excellent. Is it normal for my newborn to not poo for up to 5 days post their meconium poo?
Yes, I mean, babies' digestive systems can take a while to kick in and to actually get going. And so when a baby's first born, they will pass meconium.
So tell us what that is, because I know I had no idea until our lesson on it.
It's black, sticky and tar-like. So your first nappy change or two might be quite hard to actually remove all residue.
I think Ruth in the lesson had a nappy, and I think she put some Marmite.
It was either Marmite or black treacle.
Or black treacle, and that really is what it's
very
like.
Similar. Yeah. And then after that, it sometimes goes a dark brown or greeny colour, and then moves on to various shades of yellow. And some babies will just poo continuously, and just every time you feed, they will poo. So it would
particularly if they're breastfed, because
particularly if they're breastfed,
through them.
And it will look very mustard and water-like, so a very luminous yellow. And formula-fed babies tend to be a bit paler and slightly thicker in consistency. And some babies will poo all the time, and some will take a little while to keep going. So some may take 2, 3, 4, 5 days. I think if it goes beyond that and you think your baby's uncomfortable, then you could try some tummy massage to get things going. Or again, if you're really worried, speak to a midwife or health visitor. But generally, it's okay as long as they're all right in themselves.
Okay, brilliant. What colour poo is normal in newborns?
In newborns will be the black tar-like, dark brown or black.
After that, it turns slightly greeny.
Yeah, it goes a greeny brown, and then it goes to your yellow.
It can often be a little bit like chicken korma.
Yes,
can't it?
Yes,
that sort of
quite nasty yellow colour. Yeah, perfectly normal. The only time I would be worried is if it had a nasty smell to it, which isn't normal for babies. So it can be quite loud in colour, quite offensive in colour, bright. But as long as it hasn't got an offensive smell, then it's generally okay.
Okay, brilliant. Now, is it normal to feel sad, moody and tearful for up to 3 to 4 weeks postpartum?
Yeah, absolutely. It's our hormone levels that are increased when we're pregnant. And whether we choose to breastfeed or not, the milk hormones will still come in. If we continue to breastfeed, or we do breastfeed, then that stays with us all the time we're feeding. And if we don't, then those hormones have to go away, and the pre-pregnancy hormones have to come back in. So that can make us feel a little bit premenstrual, a little bit weepy. We're also tired. I was
going to say, in combination with the birth, but also the fact that this little being is...
We've had the birth.
Needs your constant attention, you're up all night.
We're tired. So it's perfectly normal. All new mums, and dads will be going through that. And you'll have good days.
And it doesn't mean that you're not delighted about the baby, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. So many women feel, oh God, what have I done? Why am I not, elated all of the time? Well, because you're human. That's why.
Absolutely. I always remember one of the many congratulatory cards that you receive when your babies are born, and I opened one in particular, and it said, "I hope you're enjoying your new baby." And I thought, enjoying? I suppose I am. I haven't stopped to think about it. And from that point, I thought, enjoy it. But the days that you're feeling a bit tired and a bit weepy, it's fine.
It's like a roller coaster,
yes, it is, very much so.
I remember when I was talking to a friend of mine about the first 6 weeks of Ava's life, I used the word brutal. Because that is, I found it quite brutal because it was just non-stop. And I felt slightly like I was a captive, like I couldn't have a shower or anything because she might then, she was a very hungry baby. She really wanted feeding about every 5 minutes. So if I was away from her for more than 5 minutes, she'd start crying. I'm like, no, I can't do anything.
Yeah. It's the 24-hourness of it, I think.
Yeah. There's no
And
respite.
I wasn't prepared for that. And I think a lot of women not. We're used to going out to work and coming home and having our time.
Yeah. And unless you have lots and lots of support around you, and very few of us do, it is, you know, your partner goes back to work and you are pretty much on your own 24/7 looking after a very demanding little person.
Yeah, and they will always come first because that's what we do.
Absolutely.
And we're happy to do it.
Yeah, but of course. But yes, it is brutal.
Yes, it can be,
And it does come with some emotional highs and lows.
Which do pass.
Yes.
They do pass.
Yes.
Like you say, it's a roller coaster. You'll have fantastic days of euphoria and days where you just feel so tired and then you're up and down. It does pass.
And everybody always said that to me, it gets easier, it gets easier. I was like,
it does get easier.
It does. That 6-week point for me was just like, okay, it does get easier. Yay!
It does get easier.
Okay. Now, how long does postpartum bleeding last?
It can generally last between 2 and 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So some women will have 2.5 weeks, and others will go right up to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
If it goes beyond 6 weeks and it's still what we call fresh blood, the red blood, then, you know, speak to your health visitor. Sometimes it can just mean that you're overdoing things a little bit, and that if you just slow down a little bit, let your body recover and heal, sometimes that's all it needs. Okay. Once it goes brown, a browner colour, then generally that means it's slowing down a bit.
Yeah. And will it be, I mean, I know for the first couple of weeks it's quite heavy, it's a lot of blood, you're needing quite a lot of sanitary towels.
Yeah.
And if it does go on past the 2 weeks, I think I was about 2 weeks, goes on past that, does it sort of slow down?
It should start slowing down. If it doesn't, then ease up a little bit. You know, if you're doing lots of walking, lots of exercising, slow down a little bit and see if that has any effect. And again, if you're worried, if you're thinking it's been 3 weeks now and I'm still losing a lot of blood, then go and sort of seek some advice. But generally, after 2 weeks, it should start settling down a little bit. Yeah.
Is it normal for the first post-baby period to be very heavy?
It can be a mixture with women.
Yeah.
I always assumed that it might be because we hadn't had a period for several months. But with some women, I mean, the blood supply that you have when you're pregnant, your blood volume increases by 50%. And generally we do lose that when we give birth. And then for the few weeks afterwards when we're having this lochia that we've just been talking about. But some women just have spotting and others will have heavy periods. So we're all different, really. I think anything...
I mean, mine was quite normal, but a girlfriend of mine said that hers was like the heaviest and worst period she'd ever had. So that's just normal.
It is. We're all different.
Differently.
Yeah, we're all different. So I think it would be
something to worry about.
No, definitely not. Okay. No.
So I want to talk a little bit about baby massage. I know you're very passionate about it, and I loved doing it.
Thank you.
So what exactly is baby massage?
Baby massage. It's sort of introducing loving touch to babies, really. You know, babies thrive on being touched. They need to be touched. You know, we are the only mammals probably that pick our babies up, put them down for, you know, sort of minutes or hours on end and walk away from them. Most mammals will keep young next to them.
That's true. So,
you know, it's about showing you how to touch. We know how to do it, but sometimes just to have some structure can be quite nice.
Absolutely, and I think as well that because there's lots of techniques that you can use to help babies with, if they're a little bit constipated or if they've got colic, or so it's not just necessarily giving them a lovely massage. It's actually helping them when they can't help themselves.
Yes, you can do structured massage to help remedy certain situations such as teething or colic.
And now I know Ava had really bad colic, and I used to do baby massage on her to help that, and I found that it definitely did help. So what sort of techniques could help a baby that is suffering from colic?
Generally, tummy, chest and back massage. People don't often think about back massage as being helpful, but it's how we wind our babies, isn't it? We put them across our tummies or our shoulder and we pat them and rub their back. So we know that that's effective. And obviously the digestive system takes up not just the front of our torsos, but the back as well. Obviously the front's where you've got the muscles. So as long as you sort of do the tummy and the back, you know you're in the right area. And the only rules to it really are don't do it on top of a feed or immediately after a feed.
You might vomit.
They might do. As would we if we just had a heavy meal and then someone started rubbing our tummy. It just wouldn't feel very nice. So about 30 minutes either side. and generally to work in a clockwise direction.
I was going to say that was something that I really remembered, that it was much more effective working in a clockwise direction.
And that's because the digestive system, the food processes in a clockwise sort of direction, really. So as long as you're working in that direction, then you're being helpful. If you forget and you go anti-clockwise, excuse me, you're not going to cause any blockages or any problems. No, you're not going to hurt them. It's just more effective to go clockwise.
Okay. Fantastic. And how about to help prevent constipation? Now, I remember in our massage class, we started to do this and the babies started farting, didn't they? Because it is effective and it does work.
Quite a musical session,
very
wasn't it?
Funny, very, very funny. I never had that problem with Ava, quite the opposite. But I know lots of the babies did have that problem, and the massaging did help them. Yeah,
definitely. So again, it's clockwise, lots of clockwise, and also increased fluids as well if they're a little bit constipated. And it's generally going from left to right, sort of up, round, down, and lots of circling.
Yes. And is there anything to do with the legs?
Yes, you can lift the legs up and sort of do some air cycling.
Yes.
Drawing the knees into the lower abdomen is another one.
I remembered had quite an effect.
It opens the pelvis, and sometimes if the trapped air or gas is in the pelvis, it just needs a bit of compression and a wideness, some more space to be created. So open the legs. As long as they haven't been diagnosed with clicky hip or anything like that, then just open the legs, circle them round, put them on your tummy and have a bit of tummy compression across your knees as well as another thing.
And I think people are always really worried. They think, oh, these little babies, they're so delicate. But actually you can be quite, not rough with them, but you can be quite strong with them.
I mean, I think it's in our nature to be protective and it's precious, they're very precious to us.
Of course,
but I think it doesn't take you long to realise, that they're not made of china. And as long as you protect their heads,
of course.
Then generally, and you're not rough with them, then generally they're hardier than we give them credit for, really. So don't be afraid.
It doesn't just have to be a little light touch, does it? It can
in fact, they quite enjoy the reassurance of a firm massage, I think. And I think in our sort of society, we're very gentle. But if you look at the ways other cultures massage their babies, some of them are quite vivigating, and babies are fine, they're loving it. So
baby massage actually goes back like
thousands of years, 5,000 years BC apparently, So it's only been in England since the 70s. But it's been, in Asia and China and India for thousands of years before us,
Interesting, isn't it? We came to the party very late.
Yes, we did,
I wonder why that was.
And when it came over to England, it had quite a hippie, new age sort of reputation about it. So it's taken several years
I remember telling my father-in-law that I was doing baby massage, and he was like, oh, God, are you? Why? And he just thought, what a ridiculous thing to be doing.
But it's lovely. It's brilliant.
So lovely. And it is getting all the babies, like we did it with our NCT group, and it was getting us all back together again. It was a really nice thing to do. And then we did a dad's one as well.
Yes, it was great.
Funny, very funny.
That one.
Get all the dads in. It was a Christmas present. I think. It was very fun.
All the ladies went to lunch. All the mums went to lunch.
But close enough, just across the road.
So you could hear
if there were any problems. Okay. And what baby massage techniques really help to relax a baby? So if babies are very distressed and very upset, baby massage can really help as well, can't it?
Yes, it can. Babies, if they're not ticklish, then foot massage is very, very relaxing for babies. Probably not when they're crying. If a baby was really crying and you took hold of their feet, by then they've gone past that point. But if they're a little bit tired and restless and you just sort of kiss and play and press their feet, then that can have some really relaxing pressure points there. And just stroking their back, as a mum would do anyway if you're holding your baby. Just stroking them and soothing them is, that's massage in itself, really.
And you don't need any expensive oils or anything, do you?
No. I mean, obviously you can buy expensive oils if you want to. But generally, the more natural the oil is, the sort of gentler on baby's skin it is. And anything that's palatable, would generally be safe for your baby. I would say if you have a history of allergies in your family, then avoid the nut-based oils.
Okay.
And olive oil is particularly good for very dry skin with babies. But if they haven't got very, very dry, scaly skin, then go for something softer.
I went for coconut oil just because it smelled delicious.
It's got a lovely smell.
I'm a huge believer in coconut oil anyway.
Yeah.
And it was just lovely and it wasn't too greasy. It did get absorbed by the skin.
Yes, it's very light, very safe.
Yeah.
So I would say, I mean, personally, I use coconut oil. It's usually raw virgin and cold pressed. Or I use organic sunflower oil with vitamin E. And grapeseed oil is another one as well.
Amazing. And what sort of ages would you recommend to start baby massage? Is there a...
well, lots of people come from 6 weeks, when the babies are 6 weeks. But in the class I've just done, the babies are about 3 weeks.
Really?
And I just leave it down to the mums, really. And it's about levels of expectation. Newborn babies, sometimes they're just feeding all the time or sleeping all the time. But sometimes that's okay because mum wants to learn the techniques and do it in her own time.
And you have a beautiful doll.
Exactly, I do have a doll.
If babies are asleep, then you could always practice on a doll.
Exactly. So I leave it very much up to when the mum feels ready, really. Mums and dads feel ready.
You can do it
straight away.
Even just after a bath, and you're wanting to, you know, if they've often babies after a bath, they get quite dry skin, don't they? So even if you're just wanting to put a bit of moisturiser on the baby, just use a little bit of coconut oil and just sort of massage them, and they'll love it. Amazing. Okay, well, those are all the questions that I've got for you today, Ruth. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I know that all of that information is so useful, and you know, you can get really, really worried when you've got a new baby and you don't know what's going on with it. So I think that all of those things are really reassuring to know that your baby's not ill or
that it's perfectly normal.
Amazing. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. Bye.
Bye-bye.